Howdy everyone, Sky High Ken here, and today I'm going to be going over something that we can all really address ourselves, and that is the importance of why living below your means will probably or most likely help you down the line. Now, this may be a subject that I might tackle a little more later down the line, but for now I'm going to go ahead and just give us 3 useful tips that we can all use to better help ourselves. But as usual, before I go over these tips, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. It's free to do so, and it helps out the channel as usual. But with that said, let me go ahead and get started. So the first primary reason why I would suggest a lot of people live below their means is because you have to plan for unexpected events that may occur in the future. And kind of what I mean by this is if you're fortunate enough to already have a stable job, or even if you have anything within your income, or your bank account, there's a lot of things that become unexpected. And I know it's really tough for a lot of us because we really want to hop on the bandwagon of the new latest video game that came out, or new latest console, new latest phone, anything that gives us that gratification to upscale our lives. But you really do have to look at this perspective that you're trying to save yourself in the future for right now by building that wealth in case of that emergency does come. So a primary example that I'd like to give is very important to me. My partner has a cat right now. This cat is very near and dear to us, just as any other pet would be to us that we can tend to. We love it, we care for them, and we treat them as our own. It's why they're very special. And I bring this up because her cat one day got sick, and it was something that was very unexpected, especially with a planned trip on the line for her specifically. This was something that was seriously unexpected. And what made me realize that she would rather risk her entire trip, and not just a trip, a graduation trip that she really wanted to go because she knew that this would really benefit her. She sacrificed that just to be with her sick pet. And I knew how near and dear that was to her, and thankfully for that time period, I was already building up the wealth in case of emergency situations actually happen like this. A lot of us can agree that this is an emergency situation, and it can be a bigger situation too if for someone is about to be homeless, or they need to pay rent, or they need to find some quick and fast income. You have to save your expenses and what you have, your liquid income, for emergency cases like this, or similar examples. Other examples you can even say are a broken hip, a broken leg, something that causes you to be inaccessible from doing any form of work for a time being. It's very important. Now, that doesn't mean that you should sacrifice a lot of your fun for yourself in the future, because yes, understandably, that will cause a lot of anxiety for you. At the same time, you have to figure out the spectrum of not being hedonistic too, and for those of you that need to know what hedonism is, it's essentially the gratification or pleasure of enjoying something at the moment in time. It's very similar to drinking alcohol, smoking weed. It can be any one of those. I mean, for me, that's eating like a donut or something. So really the primary lesson that I'm trying to teach with this specific tip is you have to learn temptation. You have to learn not to indulge in products or things that will consume your time or your resources. The time that you invest, the work that you put in, is the measurement of what you have saved in order to help you in the long run. And I think that kind of transitioned into the second reason why most of us should look into living below your means until you're ready. And that is wealth, especially money, like if you have a physical dollar bill, wealth is the measurement of how much power that you have, and however much power you have is how much you will save in that account. So imagine this, a dollar bill. A dollar bill is a buying power. You use it as a form of currency, and we all know that we believe that dollar bill has value. But in essence, of course, that dollar bill is just a piece of paper, right? We already know that. We already know that concept. We've heard of that already. But why is that dollar bill so valuable? Well, it's because it measures how much time and effort we've put into anything. It can be investing, it can be work, which work is a valuable input because you're giving back to the community by giving a means of production. However, when you use up that value of measurement that you have for money, then you start to waste your valuable time on other indulgences that you've wasted it on. So what I'm trying to get with this specific point is that when you start to lose your income, then you start to lose power, or buying power is what they call it in finances. And when you start to lose that buying power, then you start to lose leverage. Not just leverage with what you can spend it on that you may need, but also very important specific needs, such as, once again, rent, food, shelter, water. It can be a lot of things. The money that you specifically have right now in your bank account, that is literally the measurement of how much power that you have. And however much power that you have in order to survive for the next day. And a lot of us may even be a bit offended by hearing that, because we want to think that if I have $0 in my bank account, then that may mean that I'm not doing something right, or I'm probably useless. I don't want that to be the case scenario. It has nothing to do with what's in your account, but how you use your skills and how you use your time and leverage to your advantage. It's why some jobs pay more than other jobs. And it's also why other people can leverage their time with other specific jobs. And it's also why whenever people have higher paying jobs, they still cannot figure out how to save or budget their assets or their liquid assets or whatever they have in their account, because they're going above and beyond their means. Now, once again, I don't want to be the person that says you cannot have fun with your life and you have to save up so that way you can have a fun life at 65. That's not what I mean at all. And actually quite the opposite too. I want you to have fun with your life. I want you to have the best career, best advantages right now at this very moment. But you have to realize that there are those of us that have limited buying power and limited power essentially too with what we can do with our finances in order to have that sort of luxury. But at the same time too, a lot of our luxuries don't even cost that much nowadays. You really don't need that much anyways. You don't need a lot of subscriptions like HBO Max, you don't need Netflix, you don't need Disney Plus. You really don't need all those streaming services. And at the same time too, you don't need a lot of useless subscriptions that you're using. Really, you just need one of those. I mean, even then, all I simply have is just Disney Plus. And to be honest, I personally don't even use it anyways. I just have it because my girlfriend likes it. And I'll use it too because I like to indulge in Star Wars. But the point is that we have such an abundance of resources that we can use, that we can spend once again our buying power for those services that we can have, because we live in a bigger time of more luxury items versus, well, I'm going to sound like an old Gen Z guy, versus when I was a kid, when having a Game Boy was a big thing for me. Playing Pokemon was a big thing for me. Now you can emulate that for free online, and that's crazy. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a lot more free things that you can do beyond just paying for useless subscriptions that, I mean, we know already too, these companies don't need. I mean, if you support them, hey, so be it. It's no worries, but, you know, definitely in our time as young Gen Z and coming of age Gen Alpha too, we could really use the support to save our income and our streams in order to once again prepare for the big case scenarios that may occur. And I think this actually transitions into my final point of this video. Plus, it's something that I have actually mentioned before in my previous video. I think it was my first or second one, and that is there are so many activities out there that are very free to do, that are fun to do, and they don't cost pretty much anything. Sometimes they don't even cost that much. And in other regards too, it even helps people with mental clarity. I mean, just today, right now, well, I say right now, but today for Christmas, because I'm recording this on Christmas, my girlfriend and I, it's very warm out in Texas right now. And one of the things that we did just to kind of spend our time together was going out to the park. And we went out to the park just to walk around, just to have a nice day out. And while she was there doing her own thing, I was just looking at this lake, breathing in the air. It's one of those jokes where it's true, you know, touching grass, while she was actually just making her own clay. And to me, maybe it's just me, but it's a very simple and therapeutic way of just going outside and reminding yourself that there's so much outside activities to do beyond what we have in our space here. You can meet a lot of people too, which is still, of course, outside of other people's comfort zones of going to the park. And I also recognize that, you know, it may be a bit nerve-wracking for someone to do it alone. And what I say to that is I emphasize have a friend or have a buddy come by with you to a park, a game show, or anything. It can be grocery shopping, it can be window shopping, It can be looking for new gaming parts, or it could even just be cruising around, reminding yourself of the old days of what used to be for you. Nostalgia purposes. And that creates a lot of time that you do that is put to, once again, mental clarity, or you could even go around this route by investing time that will help boost your knowledge or skills that you really want to be creative in. I know it's really easy for me to say that, oh, go touch grass, you'll feel better, but I swear when I do say it, it really does make us feel better. And do believe me when I say this too, right now, both my partner and I are having to do a huge transition with our lives in terms where what we do to have fun is very limited, but our imagination is so big, we know to still have a great time with each other just by simply walking outside, feeling the sunshine, and going out and about, just being together. And once again, I use my girlfriend as an example, but that same prime example can be used with your friends or even with your family, your father, your mother, your brother if you have one, or walking your pet, your dog, or even going to an event, or even joining an event, joining a club, anything of that nature. It's really how you spend your time. And earlier in the video, of course, I mentioned that your buying power is what you have in your account. But the reason why that is so important is because of how much time you've invested in what you've produced outside in the world. The most important thing that you can do to invest in isn't necessarily your bank account itself too, but it's truly within yourself. Your mental clarity, your physical well-being, your mental well-being, your relationship well-being, everything that encompasses you, that is what truly will define you and really push you forward beyond the expectation of living below your means and also living a more fulfilling lifestyle. Sometimes the things that personally do bring me the most joy, it really isn't staying online and playing video games. It's the camaraderie of playing video games with my friends and hanging out with them, being a part of something that I used to enjoy back in my time when I was younger, when camaraderie was more physically intact. And of course, Discord's a thing, which is perfectly fine, but I think once again is the activities of growth and friendship that you spend it with. The one thing that I always preach on is build memories. Memories are timeless and they always pay better than anything else that you will ever buy in this life. Time is of the essence. It is why people always say time is money. Use your time wisely and you will live a very fulfilling lifestyle. The philosophy can be taken into multiple directions depending on your situation and specific circumstances. I have been with people and I've met people that have literally nearly been homeless to the point of living in their car. Yet, the one thing that always puts them together is the camaraderie, knowing that they have a great support group that will still look out for them. And the time is always tough for them, don't get me wrong. But once again, the thing that always pushes them forward is the friendships, the memories, and the activities that keep them going. So, anywho, that should wrap up this video at this point. As always, if you like this video, once again, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. Any topics that you would love for me to talk about, I would be more than happy to look into them and give you my feedback and share, how I approach it and how I go about my livelihood. And with that said, this is Sky High Ken signing out. I hope you all have a very great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.